You fucking need people like me so you can point your fucking finger and say, look, there goes the bad guy. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 3. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off by saying this straight away. If it wasn't obvious to all of you, then, you know, let this be a free lesson, a little bit of free knowledge. Conor McGregor was just too light again for that fight. The first fight, he was way too light. As you seen, Poirier was he was getting slapped about a bit in the first round, Poirier, but once he realised that he could take them shots, he was able to just walk forward and walk through them, wasn't he? And then, obviously, he got the stoppage there with the leg kicks and things like that. So yeah, onto the trilogy. As I said there, the weight difference was massive again. I thought Conor done a better job coming in, rehydrating after a weigh-in, probably getting up to about, 163, 160, yeah, I'd say about 163, 164. But obviously Poirier was rehydrating to the max, like your Khabib in the Khabib era of 155. He used to come in, kill himself making weight, which is why he failed on so many weight cuts. And obviously had pullouts of fights and things like that. But when you rehydrate and you come in with that maximum rehydration and weight, your durability, your endurance, and not always endurance, to be fair, because the weight can be wrong. You've got to put the work in, but obviously Khabib and Poirier, they're animals, aren't they? They in the gym, they work their ass off. So yeah, I think Poirier just came in with that extra weight, able to take the shots better. He walked through them in the first round, in the second fight, third fight, absorbed, walked through, and even took the leg kicks. Conor came flying at him with them leg kicks, but he was just bouncing off his legs. I think the biggest damage that Poirier took, he had a blemish on his eye, as you see in post-fight, but it was the elbows when he was on the ground, when he was going for the ground and pound. Conor was able to smash him with some solid elbows from the bottom. But as you see, when Conor tried to grab hold of him to go for some grappling, he was like trying to hug a bear. He was trying to put his arms around Poirier. And Poirier just took it, just turned around, was almost laughed at it, took Conor to the ground. Obviously, Conor was trying to go for the choke, which don't think anyone's seen that coming. Tried to go for the choke, and took him down. Before you know it, Poirier's on top, ground and pound, ends up backing off, gets a few leg kicks from Conor from the ground. Conor, as I say, a few vicious elbows, but it was Poirier who was on top. Now, do we think Conor's done? Do we think he's done after that ankle break? Which, to be honest, Poirier said he checked the kick. Now, I've seen the replay and, but there's no fracture off that check. It's not like, say, the foot more comes into the side of the leg rather than the knee getting checked. The shin bone. But yeah, I think once Conor stepped back and rolled on the side of his foot, I think that's what caused the break. I think the adrenaline, he was so focused on probably the hands of Poirier and Poirier walking forward, because they had just had an exchange. As Conor just took that step back, I think by the time he put his weight through that angle, which was like the perfect stress angle, I guess, for the shin, as he's leant back, the adrenaline, as I say, it's probably pushed him through, and then by the time it's snapped, the message has travelled up through the brain, through the cloud, the fog, and then he's realised. And I was watching the fight with my brother, and to be honest, he pointed something out. You've got to give credit to McGregor there. Backed up against the fence, he knew his ankle had gone, hit the deck and started rolling with the punches, and then obviously the sound went for the end of the round, which was, end of the fight. But moving forward from that, I think McGregor, is he done? I don't think so. I think he's still got more in him. I think he's got more in the tank. I think having back-to-back camps has been a benefit for him. It's the first time in God knows how long he's had back-to-back camps. And obviously Poirier now is going to go on and fight for the title. So could that fight happen sometime, same time next year, or the start early next year, March or something like that? It's probably likely. Will Conor fight someone in between? Probably not. But if he comes in, heavier again, because don't forget the Diaz 2 fight. When he came into the Diaz 2 fight, he was clearly too light in the first fight, so we won't even go there. He did all right until the second round, and then, it was game over. But the Diaz 2 fight, he came in and he was thick in that fight, Conor. It's like really strong, really heavy, where Diaz had obviously worked a lot more on his cardio and looked a lot lighter than he did for the first fight, which I think was why Conor was able to drop him so many times early on. Conor had that extra power, that extra payload, and Diaz was obviously, I wouldn't say he's got a glass jaw, but he does get put down a lot, doesn't he? He takes it, he recovers really fast and things like that, but, and I think Conor, he needs to try and get that kind of feeling back inside himself, where he's fully confident in moving around and moving his opponent around. Because in that trilogy fight there, he was unable to move Poirier. He was unable to make him take the step back unless Poirier kind of wanted to, even though he did eat a few solid left shots. So I think moving forward, Conor, try and put more weight on in the off-season, mate. Keep hitting them weights. Obviously, this is going to affect flexibility, what have you. Because you see, Poirier, when he dehydrates, you can see the dehydration, but then when he rehydrates, he's not like, the muscles aren't fully compact. He's not fully toned because he's loose. He's natural at that weight. Where Conor, you can see him when he rehydrated, all his muscles were jacked. That's because he's had to work his way up to that weight. He's had to build muscle and eat a lot. That's why he's got like compact muscles at that, like when he rehydrated, which affects you. Obviously it makes you more explosive, but everyone knows that's what drains the tank as well. So I think he's got his work cut out in a fourth fight, Conor. The best thing about it for him is, I suppose, the break and then Poirier fighting. Just keep training, lad. Just keep training till the next bout. No time off. Play the sweat game, if you will. Where for Poirier, I think, job well done, mate. He took Conor's best and he ended him again. All right, it was a bit of a shit way to go for Poirier, to be honest. A bit of a bittersweet. But he kept the show going for himself. People who've doubted him in the past, he's just silenced a few more of those doubters, hasn't he? I've always been a Poirier fan, but obviously I'm a Conor fan as well, coming from the UK. We want to see one of our own. He's Irish, right, fair enough, but the British Isles, if you will. So I think a fourth fight, could be interesting. Poirier got the title fight. Interesting fight. I think he might be too much for Oliveira, to be honest. He might be too big. It's pretty much the same as Conor. The only difference is, that jiu-jitsu and the speed he's going to come up against. It's a different kind of speed than Conor's. Conor's is an explosive, put your lights out speed. This is more of combinations with long arms and stuff like that going to be coming at him. So it's going to be an interesting bout. So there we have it. Like I say, interesting bout. Shame the way it ended. Poirier goes on to bigger and better things. Conor goes back to the drawing board and roll on the fourth fight, probably some point next year. Peace. You fucking need people like me.